when you live with your parents, the rent is free, but you pay with your mental health.
So true, queen.
And my mental health has been on the struggle bus for far too long, so it's time for me to get my own place.
I'm choosing being broke so I can protect my peace.
The renting market right now is foul.
Like, really bad.
Luckily, I had a friend who had an empty room in her flat, so she's kindly letting me stay with her. So we have a lot to prepare for the move, such as decluttering, packing, unpacking the trauma so I can leave my parents on good terms.
Yeah, that one is gonna be hard.
And I hope this situation will be beneficial for everyone because
We're starving, we're so hungry. Can you please lower the prices of food or make it easier to access?
Absolutely not. Food's not even a right. Go fuck yourself.
Being at home is like literally the most frustrating thing in the world, and like I feel so ungrateful for like the way that I'm feeling, because I know that I'm like lucky that at least I like have a home to go to after I like left my job. Like I'm really lucky, but at the same time like it just contributes to like so much of like a loss in identity and like a loss in independence. Like someone is home all the time and I like don't have any privacy and I like don't have like any like spaces to myself. Coming back to like your childhood bedroom that like is just so not the person you are anymore, and like having all of this like random shit and like it's not your space and it doesn't feel like your space anymore. And like side note, like my mom just decided to start renovating like half our house, so now like we're all on one side of the house and like in our, like another tiny room that's like not mine, and my stuff is everywhere. Not to mention like I don't see my fucking friends anymore. Like I genuinely can't just go like grab a coffee with someone after work or like meet them for lunch. Like I'm just in a different town, like miles and miles away. And don't even get me started on like the fact that you probably can't even date anyone because your parents are like all up in your business and like you've nowhere to like no space to bring them into. I feel so stupid for complaining about all of this because like people literally like are homeless and dying, and like I'm complaining about being in my parents' house. So, champagne problems.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna tell you how we are here in the United States of America. You know you're in the United States of America when you can buy this little amount of food and it costs you what it just cost me. I bought a bottle of coconut water, 2 things of mangoes, 2 things of blackberries, 2 things of raspberries, a thing of blueberries, some seaweed, and some seeded grapes for $70. What's really sickening about that right there is that that is an extremely healthy diet, and it costs me $70 here in the United States of America. For that same $70, you could fill that whole table up with toxic processed chemicals in bags, boxes, and cans. Welcome to the new America.
I don't think there's anything wrong with adults living with their parents.
I don't think people understand. Right now, the average amount of money you have to make in order to live by yourself is $60,000 a year, meaning you have to get paid $30 an hour. Come here. And that is just to cover rent. That's not including furniture. That's not including other bills. That's not including car issues, right? If you were to put all that together, you'd have to make about $75,000 a year, meaning you have to get paid over $35 or $40 an hour. So if you know somebody that is making you feel bad because you live at home with their parents, unless they are making $40 an hour at their job, they're definitely lying to you about their living situation. They either live in a closet or they have 4 roommates. There's nothing wrong with staying with your parents right now, because at this moment in time, the new generation, they can't save any money. The only thing going up is the cost of things, not the actual payment.
Living with your parents in your 20s has a severe impact on your mental health.
So I moved back in with my parents after living out of home for 3 years, and it was so hard, but we now have a great relationship. And my biggest piece of advice is just pick your battles. A great example of this is we were sitting down, having dinner as a family, and talking about the royal family in the UK, right? And I mentioned something about the Japanese royal family because they were in the news at the time with the princess and that kind of thing. And my mum goes, there's no Japanese royal family. And I was like, yeah, there is. And she was like, no, there are no other royal families. It's just the British royal family. And I thought she was joking. I was like, no, there are like heaps of royal families. And she started getting quite irate. No, it's just the UK. And I was like, okay, sure, like, whatever. Obviously, I knew I was right, but I was like, like, I don't really care enough to get into this. But the next day, I saw an article by the New York Times, which is literally about the Japanese princess, right? And so I just forwarded it to my mum. Didn't hear anything back. A few days later, I asked her, I'm like, hey, did you get that article that I sent you? And she was like, yeah, what was all that about? And I was like, oh, well, you were saying the Japanese royal family didn't exist. So I was just sitting there, and she was like, I never said that. And obviously, like, that is insane and super annoying, but it also doesn't matter. Like, it's just completely irrelevant. It doesn't affect anything. And that is something that I was like, I'm just gonna let that go. It gave me so much more peace of mind and clarity, and it means I still have like the emotional energy to deal with the real stuff, right? The guy's video I stitched talks about his parents being racist, and obviously that's not something that you can let go, and it just means like you have a bit more time and energy and capacity to like handle the things that matter if you're letting go the things that don't.
Living with your parents in your 20s is wild and nobody talks about it. First off, you're gonna lose the food battle. It's a lose-lose. You go buy groceries for yourself, you get lectured, hey, we have food at home. Why you wasting money like that? Save your money. But then you ask, hey, we doing anything for dinner? And you're a grown-up. Figure it out yourself. It's a lose-lose. The other thing they don't tell you is that parents get really bored, and they start doing these little side quests. You know, I just heard a bunch of clanging and stuff downstairs today, and the floor is gone. And I've heard a lot of people complain about the parents who are always like, where you going tonight? Who you seeing? It pales in comparison to the judgment of just staying in for a night. Oh, you're not doing anything tonight? You're just staying in? Yeah, I am. What's it to you? Little me time, you know? And it's a weird combination of obvious gratitude, thankful to have a roof over my head for a little while longer, but also like, chill.